Today we have a pretty special episode for you. Our good friends Jess and Miah at Roots and Refuge challenged us to list the 5 reasons why we homestead. The only problem? We've been getting interrupted like crazy. It's just like one thing after another. This right now is maybe my 10th attempt at trying to shoot this. I just had to move a second ago because my kids came outside to interrupt. I don't know if they drank a bunch of crazy water or what, but the last 2 weeks, my children have been insane. So the first attempt we made at making this video, we were headed off to Randy Kleinman's house to go to an event he was having at his house, and we were gonna do this whole video on this day.
Here, in the winter.
You guys didn't grab gloves.
Oh, I have gloves.
Oh, good for you, sweetie.
The windmill over there. Even the windmill says it's cold.
Yeah. Well, we made it to Randy's place, but we put a foreign object through the tire somewhere between our house and his house. So now we gotta put on the spare tire. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna tell you the 5 reasons that we homestead. Well, Randy, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Is that one of your 5 reasons why we homestead?
No, but those will be coming out. I should have known after that. I mean, after that, I should have just known. We pick up a nail and a tire, and then a blizzard happens. I should have known that this video was like it was just not supposed to be made or something, because it was an absolute nightmare after that. So we didn't get the video done then, barely even talked about it, because we had to get our tire fixed. It was late at night, there was the blizzard, but all was not lost. Sarah and I decided we were gonna go out, we were gonna wrap up the video, we were gonna feed the chickens, and we were gonna stoke the stove, and we were gonna tell you our 5 reasons. Well, I mean, what could go wrong? Nothing, right? Nothing could go wrong. Yeah, let's just watch.
I'm not in the shot.
It's such a dark. Like a little person.
I'm a shorty.
All right, so we are about to do the stove here, but we're gonna tell you about our 5 things. So, A, we have way more than 5 things.
Yeah.
We have like 5,000 reasons, but we've broken it down into 3 main sort of things that all of those many things fall into, right?
Yeah.
Number 1.
My hand number
1. What was number 1? Oh, deliberate. Yeah. So number 1, living a deliberate life.
Right.
In the past, we just found that we weren't actually living a life deliberately. We weren't choosing our life. We were kind of just letting life choose whatever happened to us.
Take its course in whatever way.
So by moving to the country, living in the country, which is how I grew up anyway, we felt like we could really maximize our ability to control our lives. The other thing is, the cities, they kind of enforce a standard on you, and that makes it real hard to be deliberate. When you're around all these people and everyone's kind of going after the same thing, and there's just all this pressure, and I don't think anyone is, but I surely am not independent enough of mind to not be influenced by that.
Right, exactly. To jump on board with that and
Yeah. You just snap in. You like to think that you're some sort of an oak tree that is immovable and everyone around you is the thing that bends to you, but it's not true. Yeah.
Yeah, so we set out and sat down and decided what we wanted our lives to actually look like, and the things that we wanted to accomplish, to look back on and say we were happy and satisfied that we had done those things versus just following along with what everybody else seems to think everybody should do.
Yeah. The reality is, you got like this one shot here, so you better make it count. You should focus on the things that are really exciting to you and work toward those things, assuming you can figure out how to financially support yourself, which is obviously a big deal, so don't overlook that. I would never recommend anyone just move to the country.
Quit your job.
Yeah, quit your job and move to the country. Like, that's not a good idea, probably. Unless you're in a very unique situation. You want to pull a Eustace Conway or something. Yeah. Go live in a teepee in a loincloth.
That'd get kind of cold.
He literally did that for like 10 years. Not joking.
Couldn't do that here.
He walked the Appalachian Trail in nothing but a loincloth. No underwear. Just a loincloth.
An interesting picture I'm getting in my head right now.
Imagine being the people that came along on the trail. And here's this like 22-year-old. You see his butt cheeks hanging out the side.
You're wondering if he's from like some hidden tribe.
Yeah, you're like, are we about to be killed and eaten? Like, what is going on? He probably just looks like a wild man. He's just got dreads everywhere. His hair is just dreaded up.
Yeah.
This is like wild eyes, just crazy eyes.
Is that what you want to do with your life?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. All right, let's get some of this, let's get some wood in the stove. Got to get this thing filled up so we're warm tonight. She's cute, that's why I put up with her. So the next thing, number 2, has to do with reality. We feel like society has pretty much created a layer of abstraction on top of it, kind of like a icing on a cake. And 90% or more of the population lives in that little piece of icing.
Frosting is the good sugary part.
I know, it's great. Everything's great. The problem is, it's not that you get to have this great icing, the frosting. That's not the problem. I love electricity. You know, I love the internet. I love computers. That's what I've made my living doing. But I don't mistake that layer on the cake as being the cake, right? Mm-hmm. And I think a big reason why we have decided to homestead and just live a more rural life, more in touch with our food. Food is just it's like a very simple thing you can do to enter into a connection with nature, a connection with the reality of our existence. So for us, that's a huge reason why we're doing this. To connect with the real things in life, to get out of that layer of society that just is basically becoming a bunch of ne'er-do-wells, quite frankly. And that's basically what most people are. It's like, oh, happy-go-lucky, everything's good. Or even when things are bad, it's like, you know, never address the real problem, never be willing to... It's like there are no more adults in the world. I mean, and I think a big part of it, a big part of this is to raise, fiercely competent children.
Right.
Children who are competent, because there's really only one thing that matters in nature, and that's competence. Mm-hmm. So if you're out in the woods and you're extremely competent, if you're in a situation where like you could actually die, then your competence saves your life or not.
Right.
So, and the world is really like that. Mm-hmm. Even though we've built this like layer of safety, of everything being rubberized and bumpered, and we've built this world where everything is protected, kind of, or it's a pretend.
Yeah.
It's protected until Hurricane Katrina comes in and shows you that there's no protecting from nature if nature really wants to cause a problem.
Right.
Interruption 1 just happened. Our son came out and said, August is freaking out, I need your help. So we had to stop what we were doing. Oh, and the chicken thing, we didn't show you the chicken stuff because the kids were acting all crazy around the chickens and we had basically no usable footage. Yeah. We're about to give you our third and final thing, but we gotta go see the 1-ton here. I'm about to get it running. Yeah, I'm super excited because I'm gonna start fixing this thing up. It's gotta happen. I've always wanted to I have 3 trucks like this. I have a 48 Ford F1, 66 Ford F100, and then this 58 Ford F350. And I've always wanted to fix them all up, and they're just starting to fall apart now, especially this one that's been used the most. So I'm gonna start fixing it up here this winter.
The coolest part about this truck, it's a dump truck.
It is a dump truck. That is cool. The third and final thing is freedom.
Freedom.
It's freedom.
Yeah.
We live in the country because we like our privacy. We like the freedom of being able to not have, like, to me, being out here, you are not anonymous, but you have privacy. And in the city, you have no privacy, but you tend to be anonymous. So nobody knows who you are, but everyone can see your business constantly.
Right.
And like the country is like kind of the opposite. Everyone knows who you are, but no one knows what you're doing because you live a private life.
And they don't care.
They don't care.
Yeah.
No one cares that you're out doing whatever you're doing on your land, It's your business.
We lived in the city once.
We did.
And I
Drove
remember
me nuts.
one time,
Insane.
we were getting in the car in the driveway or whatever, and the neighbor was like, "Oh, so you had some friends over last night?" And we were kind of like,
what?
Huh?
You're creeping?
Right.
You're just totally creeping on us? Ooh, weird.
Yeah.
All right, weirdo. See you later, weirdo people. So for us,
we kept our curtains shut after that.
We did. We were like, I think we're done with that. Weirdos. What do you think just happened now? That's like the 10th interruption. Again, Lawrence saying, hey, Dad, the baby's acting crazy. So freedom, that's the biggest thing. Freedom of time, being able to be out here and not have to run to the city to work, working from home, trying to get out of debt. I mean, that's a big reason too, because we can cut our costs so much. Moving into the old farmhouse where we won't have any bills, fixing that up for cash. It's all about freedom. And I think for us, that's a big reason that we're doing this, is just to have freedom. I think, the freedom to create, to be able to do this on YouTube, to to be able to take the time to do this. And
to be able to have a big garden and experiment with the things that we want to grow, and to have the time to do that, to invest in it, versus just being able to go after work and pull a few weeds out of your garden and maybe collect a few tomatoes at the end of the day.
If you can even have your garden in your city, because you probably can't. There's probably some patrol brown shirt that's going around telling everybody. Don't you dare plant
something green in your front yard unless it's mowed grass.
Exactly.
Which is another thing. We don't have to mow our grass if we don't want to.
We hate mowing grass.
Nobody cares. Nobody's here to see.
Man, do we hate mowing grass. I hate grass.
I don't understand a meticulous lawn personally, so
let that stuff grow.
Right.
Turn it into hay once in a while.
Yeah.
It drives me bonkers, the idea of having to mow lawns.
And cleaning up leaves in the fall too. Why not
Yeah.
let them?
Let them lie.
Nature lets them fall. Leave them there.
They're
Let
good
them
for
do
the
their
earth.
thing. It's good for the soil.
And it's less work for me.
I know exactly.
All of the notice, some of, like I would say 75% of this stuff is based in Ethan's lazy.
Laziness.
Doesn't want to do anything.
But also the freedom then to raise our food in the form of meat or whatever else, because we have the space here to do that. Where in the city, you wouldn't have this.
You guessed it. This is like interruption 3042. So we cut what we wanted to say short. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed our 3 reasons why we homestead, the big reasons. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear what you think about living a more deliberate life, tapping into the real world that exists around you, and also what you think about pursuing freedom. So I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it. And I think I actually just finished this video. Shocking. Given this video's history, we probably should have been aware that we forgot something. We forgot to do 2 things. 1, we forgot to thank Rose from Wholesome Roots for creating this challenge. And 2, we forgot to challenge other people.
Yeah, we gotta do our shout out.
We are going to call out 5 people. First, we are calling out White House on the Hill, Jake and Becky. Second, we are calling out Doug and Stacy.
Off grid, Doug.
Off grid with Doug and Stacy. Third, we are calling out Randy Kleinman. You were in the video. So we gotta call you out. I like how I'm calling people out.
I'm calling you out.
Calling you out. The 4th one, we are going to challenge Kenny with the Filer Family Farm. And the 5th one,
They're interrupting again.
sakes. It's just ridiculous. Number 5 is our good friends Ben and Meg at the Holler Homestead. And we have special instructions for you if you accept this challenge and you do this video. Be sure you list the 5 reasons you are relocating to a new homestead.
Yep.
Anyway, we really appreciate it. I promise you this time, this video is done.
It's over.
It's over. See ya.
Good night.